The concept of the masculine shadow is rooted in Carl Jung's theory of the collective unconscious, which suggests that there are universal archetypes that exist within the human psyche. The masculine shadow is one of these archetypes and represents the repressed aspects of the male psyche that are considered unacceptable or taboo by society. Integrating the masculine shadow involves bringing these repressed aspects into consciousness and accepting them as a part of oneself. Here's a step by step process for integrating the masculine shadow, according to Carl Jung. To begin integrating the masculine shadow, it's essential to identify the repressed aspects of the male psyche that exists within yourself. This can be done by paying attention to one's thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, and recognizing any patterns of behavior that may be rooted in the repression. Let me give you an example. David is a university student and he takes the bus to school on a regular basis. He notices that he prefers to sit at the back of the bus and often envisions himself doing things that break social norms. He sees a man playing music out loud inside the bus. He envisions himself standing up and telling this man to shut off the music, and if he fights back, then to violently attack him. But he represses this and sits back down, ignoring the thoughts that pop into his psyche as mere creative thoughts that mean nothing. The pattern in this is the tendency for aggression which David represses on a regular basis. We all have a form of these thoughts, but we tend to dismiss them as if they are nothing and mean nothing. Why is that? The second aspect is to understand the origin of the repression. Once the repressed aspects of the male psyche have been identified, it's important to understand where the repression came from. This may involve exploring childhood experiences, cultural and societal influences, and personal beliefs. In this sense, David had an overly protective mother and was raised by a single mom who instilled compassion and empathy within his values. This made David rarely seek violence or aggression as a solution and often is against such solutions. Following this, one must go on a journey to confront the repressed aspects of the male psyche and bring them into consciousness. This may involve journaling, self reflection, and other forms of active imagination. From there, after confronting the repressed aspects of the male psyche, it is important to accept them as a part of oneself. This can be challenging, as many of these aspects may be considered taboo or unacceptable by society. Within males, this often comes in the form of sexual desire, aggressive sexual desire, and at times thoughts that are deemed to be completely unacceptable within society. It is also important to sit down and understand that such thoughts are a part of who you are, and they are just as important as the thoughts which are deemed to be positive for you. Within this stage, you can begin to realize the importance of balance and navigating the pattern of negative and positive thoughts in a manner where you accept both extremes as equally valuable. The final step in integrating the masculine shadow is to integrate the repressed aspects of the male psyche into one's personality. This involves recognizing that these aspects are naturally a part of who you are as a person and finding ways to express them in a healthy and productive way. The most popular way of doing this for males is to sign up to a martial arts gym. The basis of incorporating one's competitiveness and aggression in an environment that has set rules can be an extremely profound way of integrating the masculine shadow. Let's say David signs up for a jiu-jitsu class and is rolling with his partner. He's put into an uncomfortable position and realizes that he's not as strong as he thought he was. But even still, David aggressively attempts to get out of this position and in the process learns slowly to implement aggression into his personality and sees the utility in aggression in that circumstance. From a psychological perspective, integrating the masculine shadow can lead to increasing self awareness, emotional regulation, and a deeper sense of authenticity. It can also lead to a greater empathy and understanding of others, as well as a greater sense of connection to the collective unconscious. I often see individuals that are clones of many other people that I've seen before. You meet a person who follows an ideological way of thinking and behaving. This person lacks integration of their shadow. They have no uniqueness to them and are a clone of the multitude of people I've seen in my life. A prime example of this is what I would call a social justice warrior. From an evolutionary perspective, the masculine shadow served an adaptive function in the past, helping men to survive and thrive in challenging environments. By integrating these repressed aspects into one's personality, individuals can tap into the strengths and resources that these aspects provide, leading to greater resilience and adaptability in the face of adversity.